But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, y'all know we got a few things we're gonna talk about with the Hawks, man. Let's just go ahead and since Norwood started there last time, let's start here, man.
Oh no, this ain't the. This ain't the standards I want to talk about. This is not nearly as fun. That's a loss. That's a loss. And that is a loss to an 80-year-old man.
The Atlanta Hawks have been, if you look at this, they've just been just really inconsistent. Consistently disappointing.
Consistent.
They seem to. So we played Indiana in Indiana. We did not have. So Clint Capella has been out since the Detroit game. Did not have Clint Capella. I think against Indiana we did not have Trae Young or Hunter. We have not had Hunter or Clint Capella for the last 3 games. If I'm not mistaken, we did not have Trae Young either.
Yes.
For this game. As a result, we had to feature John Collins more. John in this game against the Pacers, 26-10 with 1 block. Unfortunately, he has 6 fouls. I think the disadvantage for John when you play him at the 5 is he's just too small to play the 5. But we did have Trae Young this game. He had 22 and 10. Him and John had a really good connection. Bogdanovich and Murray played. But then we got, of course, when you have to play Bogdanovich off the bench, you have to play Okongwu, who's off the bench. You really don't have anybody else off the bench other than Jalen Johnson. And for some reason, when you have John Collins going and you have Okongwu playing, Jalen Johnson isn't going to get a lot of shots. So we ended up losing this game. We got outscored every quarter except for the third quarter. Ended up losing by 15. Kind of be expected when you're missing. Oh, this is what it was. Yeah, you're missing 2 starters.
Correct. Mm-hmm. That's unfortunate. And when you got to play Frank Kaminsky, we're putting ourselves in a very bad situation. Mm-hmm. That was a game that I still think that we just didn't manage very great, but good game out of John Collins, 26-10. Trae played well. We need to leave Bogey on the bench as much as possible so we can have an adult there who can continue to score. Because what happens is when you put him into the starting lineup, there's nobody who can consistently off that bench just get their shot and get a bucket all the time. And that's going to do us in every time.
And the Pacers aren't a bad team either. I mean, Buddy, now we did lose, but Buddy Hield went 11 of 16, 6 of 7 from 3, and they were contested deep shots.
And that's kind of the reason I think that John Collins fell into foul trouble. You look here, the guards just getting what they want when they want it.
Yeah.
And, 23. Specifically with DeJounte being here, he's supposed to take some of the pressure off of Trae so Trae can play better defense. You can't give up, 51 points out of the backcourt?
Out of the starting backcourt, 51 points, and then off the bench, they allow 18 plus they allow 34 off the bench.
Just the guard play out of those 3, between 23 for Halliburton, 28 for Buddy, and then 18 for Mathurin. That's too many points out of the guards. You guys have to play better defense.
Now Mathurin really ain't no shooting guard though. He really is small forward. But he was cooking.
So the guards and the wings are gonna have to play better defense. Or you're right, John Collins gonna get 6 fouls every time. Because what he's doing is y'all are letting him get beat, and then he hopefully should stop hacking, but he's hacking because he's out of position.
Yeah, and unfortunately, when you start Bogey, when you don't have Hunter,
Bogey and Trae out there is tough.
Even that, you then have to play Justin Holiday. Justin Holiday,
you don't have to play him. You can play Culver. I don't care what you say. Every time I see a Holiday play, run that same pin down screen, come off, and then shoot that curl 3-point, it's like a Billy Napier screen to me. I'm like, bro, I've seen this play a million times. The world knows you're going to run this play, bro. Now, this game is different. And unfortunately, it's masked between 2 shitty games. This was a really good game for the Hawks. They played with no Trey. They played with no Hunter, and they played with no Capella. And they took they took the Brooklyn Nets, who were on at that point 9-game winning streak, to the very end of the game. Collins and Durant were going back and forth for a large portion of the game. Kyrie was just cooking, and we lost this game. But if you watch this game, this is what we will consider like a victory, a moral victory. Team played well.
They did play well. I'm not into moral victories, but considering that this team had Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, at the end of the day, they had
9 games in a row.
They had Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, Nicholas Claxton, who was 6'11", 6'10", was giving us problems. They were just throwing lobs to him because we had to help. And then Ben Simmons, he played. I mean, it is what it is. But if you look at our box score,
played Ben Simmons. I do want to make sure that the world knows that. I watched Jalen Johnson and I watched Ben Simmons play. And yes, they are the Spider-Man meme, but Jalen Johnson played better than Ben Simmons, and Jalen Johnson is more confident than Ben Simmons.
So that was my point that I was getting to. Jalen Johnson is doing everything that Ben Simmons does. He brings the ball up the court, but Jalen Johnson in this game playing 25 minutes, because if you look at it, we played a 9-man rotation, really 8-man, because Justin Holiday was so awful in the first half that they didn't play him no more. They played him 8 minutes, right? So they played Jalen Johnson, played 25 minutes. He was 6-12. Bogey got hot in the second half. DeJounte Murray took 26 shots. We'll get to that. John Collins had 21 points. Okongwu and low-key, Okongwu versus Nicholas Claxton was a great matchup. 18-13 for Okongwu, 17-10 for Claxton. But at the end of the day, AJ Griffin had a rough game, but he exerted all his force trying to stop Kyrie Irving at 28 points on 22 shots. And Kyrie is kind of misleading his 28 points because he gets points like 9 at a time. Like he don't get like 4 one quarter, 7 another quarter, 10 another. Like he gets like none,
Fire.
12. And he came down and hit it. He hit like 4 shots in a row. Other than that, we had actually kept him under wraps. And then Kevin Durant was having.
I forgot who he made fall early, but boy, he made him fall all the way down.
Aaron Holiday.
Yep, that's exactly who it was.
I like Aaron Holiday because Aaron Holiday will pick up 94 feet. That's why Nate plays him. Nate plays him because he's going to, even if he's tired, he knows he's going to play defense 94 feet and make it difficult. We always match up well against the Brooklyn Nets, aside from KD. Really, that's the trump card is KD. Even last year when we played them, we match up very, very well against Brooklyn. It's just they got KD.
I will say also they play kind of stupid. There was not one time where we could stop that alley-oop to Nicholas Claxton. Mm-hmm. They could have ran that 100 times in a row, and we would have never stopped it. Okongwu was too small. Claxton is too big. If he just throws it, he's going to jump, catch, and dunk every time. Jump, catch, dunk. Jump, catch, dunk. I would have ran that until somebody fouled him.
So if you look at the reason that KD and Claxton combined for 26 rebounds is because we didn't have Clint Capella. We did as much as we could. John Collins had 8 rebounds. Okongwu had 13. But y'all got to remember, KD and Nicholas Claxton are the same height. And KD is playing so much better defense this year than he has in the past, or at least it's being noticed. Maybe he's decent defense all the time, but it's being noticed now.
Ebbs and flows with him.
They're playing well. But at the end of the day, if you want us to be honest, if DeJounte Murray makes these free throws, we win the game. He missed a free throw. Yeah. And that ended up we had to foul and we couldn't, and he ended up taking the 3. DeJounte Murray played really well at the end of the game. And then of course there was LeBron. And LeBron decided
that's a Nate game. That is 100% Nate. Actually, I want to say that both of these games.
This game was a Nate game. Why is this game a Nate game?
I'm gonna tell you why. First, quietly, John Collins and Kevin Durant were a nice little battle. Kevin is clearly a lot more athletic and faster than Collins. Collins is stronger and more aggressive around.
I don't think Collins is stronger.
There was a back and forth, probably 4 or 5 plays in a row where it was ISO John, ISO KD, ISO John, ISO KD. KD will go around John, John will go right through KD. KD don't really, and I don't think that John is the strongest, but KD doesn't want really any physical smoke. You push him, he goes, all right, I'm out of the way. Because he knows he's going to come down there and score again. And he knows that you can't continue to score as long as he can.
That is true.
All right, no, you got that one. You got a big fella, boom, got them 2. I'm coming down and give you 3. And then I'm going to give you another 3. And there's nothing you can do. Eventually, you'll get tired or something, or you'll miss. You can be good offensively, I'm better. And that's what KD knew. Now, the second game, the Laker game, I almost want to 100% blame this game on Nate.
Why?
If you look at this roster sucks. Everybody on this roster sucks. Thomas Bryant, no offense, you suck. Patrick Beverly, we know you suck. Dennis Schroeder, you're a former Atlanta Hawk. Austin Reeves,
he was ass. Austin Reeves, who he was.
Wayne Gabriel, trash. Troy Brown, Juan Toscano Anderson, Russ. This ain't it. There's one guy to stop. And all we had to do was tire this one man out. LeBron, Ramon James. The only person on this team who could beat our team. And did we do that? Nope, we didn't. Instead of running somebody at him the whole time and making it at least make him play defense, we let him sit on defense for the first half. Rest. He coasted his ass off. Then he came in the second half and beat us like we stole something. I saw it happen.
So with this game, what was disappointing about this game was John Collins was flustered. He got flustered early. He got a couple bad foul calls called on him. And he allowed that to take him out of the game. He only played 23 minutes. Jalen Johnson played 24. But we needed John to win this game. The Lakers don't play the Hawks did not play any defense this game outside of the first quarter. We were up by 10 after the first quarter. We were up by as many as 15 before the Lakers went on a run to cut it down to 5. Then they opened up the second half with like a 9-0 run and took the lead, and really it went back and forth after that. Thomas Bryant, right. The problem with the Hawks when you don't have Capella, and why I keep saying John Collins has got to gain 20 pounds, at least at the most 20 pounds, is because when we don't have Capella, we don't have length, we have no pause. This entire statement. We don't have any girth. There's nobody outside of Okongwu that can stop a muscular type 4 or 5. LeBron is a muscular 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. Yeah. Right? Thomas Bryant is a muscular 5. He's just a big dude. I ain't gonna say muscular. He's just big. Yeah. He ain't really got no definition. But he's just a big dude. And at the end of the day, once John Collins got in foul trouble, it was literally Okongwu and Jalen Johnson. And Jalen Johnson is probably the same size as John Collins, maybe a little stronger than John. But it's nothing that you can do for Thomas Bryant. It's nothing. Wanye Gabriel, power forward Wanye was in there playing well because there's nothing you can do to stop the freight train that is LeBron if you don't have mass. That has always been the issue for John Collins. Other than that, I think he could have played better, but, I mean, he just got in foul trouble.
But, see, my issue is that's the reason I think Okongwu has to be a backup. Can't start him. He can't consistently play against the
even at 17 and 8
centers. Yeah, but you can't let John Collins out rebound because he was guarding LeBron. You can't expect me to get all the rebounds and guard LeBron.
Well, yeah,
and
but
we gotta take Collins off of LeBron and KD. He's guarding way too many of those guys.
Well, there's nobody else. But there's nobody. They had Okongwu and LeBron a lot. But there's that's why Okongwu was plus minus is -7. But there's nobody else that can guard LeBron. They had AJ Griffin on him for a little bit. But I mean, at the end of the day, you needed Hunter.
You need Hunter and Capella. You need
Hunter and Hunter and Capella beats the Lakers to me, because there's Russell Westbrook. I mean, we allowed him to shoot. We would go ahead and shoot. Austin Reeves was awful. Dennis Schroeder.
So bad that he was helping us out. No bullshit. He was just, and he went into his. He was shooting like Trey. I was like, bro, why are you still shooting? You're bricking these. I saw him brick airball, and I was like, bro,
keep shooting.
Well, if you I'm like, bro, they should slap once again. It's a slappable offense. If you don't have it, let somebody else shoot. You don't have to shoot every shot. And he just continued to shoot. And I was like, are you trying not to win this game?
So even with, and then of course, I actually shoot the Hawks a little bit of bail with this one because LeBron just turned into LeBron.
You should never have let LeBron coast for a half. I kept saying he's coasting. He is coasting. And I knew that if he get to that second half with energy on his birthday, even to break us off.
Mm-hmm. He was one assist away from a 47-point triple-double.
You gotta. I was listening to something today, and they were like, "Oh, don't let him get to going." That's exactly what they mean when they talk about a guy like LeBron. Older guy, he could probably have a pretty regular night if you don't let him coast and keep his energy until he really needs it. He was getting whatever he wanted, and a lot of the shots were good contested shots. He was just in his bag at that point.
Yeah, he hit like 3 shots in a row and started doing a little spinny between the leg nutbag passes. I was like,
around. I was like, no, but
it's over.
That's not you managing LeBron. Like that's what we used to do with Zach LaVine. Let him run himself out, run out of gas, shoot. So by the time that you need those legs in the second half, you don't have them. LeBron coasted. We just kept it close. And then he went into birthday mode the second half. And I knew it was over. But that's a Nate game to me. You have to know that there's nobody else on that team that can beat you. And you have to make sure that LeBron has the most difficult first half of basketball so he runs out of gas.
Let's address the elephant in the room. Trey had 29 points on 24 shots. 29 points on 24 shots. He did have 8 assists. I don't know what I've never seen a perennial shooter, right? Somebody that's regarded as one of the best shooters in the league by everybody in the league. They say he takes bad shots because but he has not been taking the wild half court threes anymore. He hadn't really done that this year. But his shooting has been, especially his 3-point shooting, has been awful this year. It has been, I think he's in like 30%. I think he's at 30. He may have just gotten to 30%. He may have, let's see stats. He's shooting 3-point percentage. He's at 35%. That's career. He's at 31% 3-point shooting this year. That's up. He was at 28 at one point. He was at 20.
Let me just knock out these last probably like 10 games. 0 for 4 from 3. Didn't play that game. 50% from 3. 3 of 7 for 3. 7 of 14 for 3. 3 of 7 for 3. 2 of 5 for 3. 1 of 5 for 3. 2 of 8 for 3. He's got to be more if we're going to win games. The issue is nobody looks and sees how many shots he takes to get to the 29 every day.
Yeah.
So it always looks good.
Mm-hmm.
Because all you're going to see is, he had 27 points, 10 assists, probably 3 or 4 rebounds. Great game, right? Not on 30 shots. And I think now, especially that game, I don't think that him and Collins can coexist on the floor together. It is now painful to watch the Atlanta Hawks play. They don't ever look like they're enjoying playing basketball anymore.
The thing is, when Collins went off against the Pacers, they played well together. If I'm not mistaken, they were on the floor at the same time. And Collins had, because Trey was giving him all types of oops. Collins had 26 and 10. Trey had 22 and 10 on 15 shots. He was up 5 of 15, but he had on 15 shots. But, his defense was so bad.
No, it's more than 15 shots.
No, it's
He
not.
really 5 of, because you got to think there's 10 free throws. So just say that's 5 more shots. So
No, I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. Because then you got to do that for literally everybody in the league, and then that makes everybody else in the league percentage go down. I mean, so if you do that, then DeJounte Murray was 4 of 15 and not 4 of 12. Like, you can't do that. You can't do that.
Yeah. But what? No. What that does is it accounts for how many possessions that he's getting. So what it is 5 of 15 looks like a light night. Well, if you look at them other 10 free throws, that's your standard 25 shots. It's a lot of shots every night. 25 shots every night is a lot of shots.
I don't necessarily agree with that.
But that's how many shots that is. I mean, actually, no, it's 20 shots. But I mean, yeah, if he's gonna continue to.
So if you're gonna say he took 20 shots, then you got to give him the make. You got to give him 4 more makes. You got to give him. If you're gonna say he's 5 of 20, then you got to say that he's 9 of 20, because he made the free throws.
Yeah. Yes, but my thing is that 20 shots is too many shots.
Is it? We didn't have Hunter. It was. We ain't got. Who else was gonna take the shot? I mean, you had Bogey, who took 12. John took 17. Murray took 12.
Yes. You got. Eventually, we're gonna have to come to the realization that you gotta let somebody else shoot more shots.
He did. John Collins took 17 shots.
Okay, and then he shot what, 3 more free throws? So say he had 2 more. That's still only 19.
19.
Still had less shots. Yeah, if you
I feel like this is an unfair argument. This is unfair.
Okay.
I feel like this is unfair. But
what I'm saying is he's shooting too many shots. However you want to dice it up.
I don't blame this on Trey. And let's have this conversation, because you're very, very hard on Trey at all times. DeJounte Murray has got to step it up offensively. He had been in a rut. He had been in a rut defensively. You can't allow DeJounte Murray defensively against the Pacers was -20. You were brought here for your defense. You cannot be -20 and plus-minus point differential as DeJounte Murray. First and foremost, you are a defensive player. That is your first responsibility when you came to the Hawks. That is what is going to get you paid.
So? No.
Yes.
Hell no.
Yes.
He don't believe that.
I don't think he believes it. Obviously he don't believe it. -20. But the reason that we brought you here, well, you're supposed to be a secondary playmaker. You are supposed to be tougher and more mentally tough than Kevin Heurter. And you're supposed to play better defense than Kevin Heurter. That's what you were supposed to, and you're supposed to be able to be the offset point guard so that Trey can come off the ball.
Which never happens.
You cannot be in any game. If you are supposed to be our defensive stopper, you cannot be -20. You can't, just like you called out the guards, said the guards were getting all the points with the Pacers. You can't just call out. You can't just call, but you can't just call out Trey. So my point is, DeJounte Murray, I am going now. What I do agree with, that you make this point all the time, that Trey doesn't do, that actually I think that Trey has been doing more this year than he did last year, is staying involved even when you're having an off night, because Trey having an off shooting season. So DeJounte Murray, when he's having a bad night, normally will still affect the game. But this game against the Pacers, he only had 2 rebounds, 1 steal.
Yeah, he was trash.
And against the Lakers, he brought us back. Honestly, he's the reason that we even were in the game at the end of the game.
And he's a better rebounder than DeAndre Hunter.
Yeah, he's always there. Yeah, yes and no. It depends on how you like. DeAndre Hunter,
they're playing defense from the same position. They both on the perimeter. There's no reason that he should be there's no reason he should be a better rebounder than DeAndre Hunter. There's no reason for that.
Yeah, you're right. But at the same time, we need more from Trey. I do think it's problematic that when Trey doesn't play, everybody else plays better. That is problematic and telling. And I think Nate knows that too.
We beat the Nuggets, we beat the Bucks, and we damn near beat the 9-0 Nets.
Without Trey. And
Exactly.
the ball. Now, the only person that has a little bit of Trey in him is Bogey. There are a couple of
Bogey
possessions.
and DeJounte, they got a little bit of
No,
that.
not DeJounte. DeJounte does that when he on the floor with like the bench. Bogey be like, "Give me the ball," and he stand over there on the elbow, and the ball. Because I was listening to we were both watching it. Listen to the commentators. Vince Carter, I don't like that possession. The ball never left this side of the floor.
Yep.
And George Pickens. The Steelers about to win this game. And Tomlin gonna get to 500. It's a win for black coaches. But anyway, I need for us to get healthy, or we need to fire our medical staff because we can lose 4 players every year, all the time.
Consistently.
I need I can't tell John Collins to gain any weight because it's not during the season. It's not gonna happen. John's got to figure out a way to stay out of foul trouble and stop having so many bad fouls. He has so many hacks and so many bad fouls. No matter the position that he's playing, he has so many bad fouls. Like and John allows a lot of and ones. If you gonna foul, hey, don't let him shoot. Foul him. He a lot of these.
My thing is we don't get him involved in the offense, so he's playing defense and he's pressing, trying to make something happen. Instead of,
I feel like that's an excuse.
But no, we can't consistently get him 14 shots a game. We can't. We're not even anywhere near that right now. Honestly,
I'm talking about he takes bad fouls. Bad fouls.
Yes, because he's trying to. He's all right. Well, I'm never gonna get any shots on offense. So the only thing I can do is try to make a play on defense. So he's trying too hard on defense to make a play, and you're gonna consistently foul and get frustrated, foul and get frustrated, instead of keeping him in the flow. And let's be real, if you're not ever running any plays for him, what does his defender know? I can coast on defense. I gotta guard him. As long as he don't dunk on me off a rebound, I'm good.
I feel like that's still an excuse. John Collins, no matter what defense, no matter what you're talking about, the bad fouls he takes, no matter if he's frustrated or not, he's taking horrible fouls. He's taking fouls where he's allowing and ones. I understand that you need to keep your big man involved. You got to keep your big man happy. You got to do all the At the end of the day, the big man still got to play defense. You still got to be able to at least not take bad fouls. I don't mind you even taking fouls if you're frustrated, but don't allow these and ones. Don't allow these players to do all this stuff. Yeah, you can't take bad fouls no matter how frustrated you are. And if that is the case, and if he is frustrated and he's like, I'm not getting any touches on offense, so I'm doing bad fouls on defense, then you need to mature. You need to mature. You need to be frustrated and voice it.
So
and you can voice it all you want, but you can't. No matter what you saying, bad fouls are bad fouls. No matter if you get 14 shots or 4 shots, bad fouls are bad fouls, and you cannot have bad fouls because then you had 5 shots against the Lakers because you had 6 fouls. You had 4 fouls in 2 quarters.
Yeah, but you want to know why? Because I'm guarding LeBron the whole game. I'm playing all-time defense on LeBron, and then I get 4 shots. Yeah, I got to try to make something happen.
Okay.
At the end of the day, I know what the box score is going to look like.
It's going to look
like I got dogged out.
That's a whole lot of bail.
But that's the reason, at this point, trade him. No, just trade him. This is not working. I think we all need to understand that we can kind of get to that point now that this trade Nate John Collins situation is at an impasse. However the media want to dress it up, however Nate wants to dress it up, however Tony Wrestling wants to dress it up, it ain't. It's past its point now.
Nate seemed like he a little frustrated anyway because it came out that allegedly Nate was Shams, doesn't he work for the Athletic?
Yes.
So the Athletic and the Hawks don't really have the best relationship to say the least. But it came out.
I don't think that media and the Hawks have the best relationship. I'm not gonna say that. It's Trey and the media.
So it came out that Shams reported that in the midst of a turbulent season, Atlanta Hawks coach Nate McMillan has strongly considered resigning from his position, sources say. Nate came out. First off, the entire Hawks organization denied this, including Nate. Said he never, ever. Matter of fact, I think I got it right here. Just listen to it real quick.
I know you've responded to reports that have come out before about things that happened in the organization, but at any time have you considered resigning this season?
I read that article briefly.
Ain't gonna lie. To start off, but that ain't a good start. A good answer to the question. That ain't a good start. It ain't a good start.
I've never spoke to that reporter before. I think the last 2 weeks he's written a couple articles with some sources in our organization.
About to say, he still ain't said he ain't say it.
That are making some comments.
No denial.
About me and some things that I'm saying and doing. Look, at the end of the year, I'll do as I've always done. At the end of the season, I talk with my family and see if I still have that flame, that fire to continue next season. But that's the end of the season. All of us think about retiring, but that's at the end of the season. So we're gonna move.
Steve Kerr ain't thinking about resigning.
That story. We have a race to prepare for. We try to get our guys healthy and make another run at the playoffs. But the things that were reported. Look, I'm here to coach this team.
Sound like DeAndre Ayton, don't it? I'm here.
He never denied it.
I talked to Tony many times, and our goal is to make the playoffs, and that's what I'm working towards.
So what's problematic about this response is that he never said no. He never ever said no. I didn't say that.
He just said I did. He said I didn't speak to that guy. Did not mean that I did not speak to a person.
Which means Shams definitely does have sources. And so I said it as soon as heard this response. I said, oh, it's true. Pittsburgh scored with 56 seconds. I said, oh, it's true. I told you. I said, oh, it's true. Whatever they reported, it's just that he wasn't supposed to know. But it's true.
And don't forget that Shams' representation and Trey's representation have some type of commingling of the funds. So sources in this building, I don't think that was it did not seem like he denied that the sources in the building that were leaking stuff weren't leaking the truth. It was just that it was leaking.
I think Nate and the quote that Shams actually said was that Nate can't connect with these players, the younger players. That tells me that he and Trey are at an impasse. I don't think it's John Collins. I don't think it's Okongwu. We've seen development in literally every other player except for Trey. I think he and Trey are at an impasse. I think we watch pretty much every game, right? Every game, Bally Sports, Hawks, NBA TV has somebody, reporter, standing next to the timeout huddle. Every game. Every game, Nate says, move the ball. Find the second and third option. Find the fourth option. Cut. Do this. Do that. Feed John Collins. They report this all the time. And yet it never happens. It happens with DeJounte. But it doesn't happen with Trey. At the end of the day, no matter what happens, no matter what we do, no matter who retires and who stays, if you are going to keep Trae Young and commit to Trae Young is going to have to commit to being the catalyst for everybody else. If not, we're going to keep running through coaches. We're going to keep trading players. We gonna keep we gonna keep losing out on players. We gonna keep having players like Kevin Heurter go to Sacramento and shoot 42% from threes and being a big part of this turnaround and giving cryptic responses like it's just a different organization over here. It's different playing with Fox. You're gonna have Delonte Wright, who are set with the Wizards 7-1 when he plays elite defense on the floor. You're going to have all of these things because the ownership, one, is being cheap, and two, is listening to Trae Young. At the end of the day, all of these people did not get along with Trae. Well, I ain't gonna say Delonte. I don't know about Delonte, but Kevin Heurter and Trae consistently, we viewed it as bumped heads, almost as much as him and John Collins.
No, well, I mean, this is the thing. When you ask for DeJounte and you have Kevin Heurter, you are basically saying, Kevin Heurter, you ain't it. Mm-hmm. You're asking for a Kevin Heurter trade at that. Because you know that DeJounte is going to play close to 30 minutes. And you know that Kevin Heurter can't play that if you expect to have DeJounte. I mean, if you plan to have DeAndre Hunter on the team as well. Mm-hmm. So, whatever it was, because like I told you, I don't think that Trae and Heurter had the best relationship, and I think that's the reason we play the Kings. He tries to go crazy, but there's a clear disconnect, and I'm at a point where I'm past it now. Just fire Nate, just trade John Collins, and do whatever Trae wants, because I feel like that's the only way that we're gonna have a team.
Oh, you want to let him drown?
Maybe. I don't think there's another choice. You've already given him. I mean, I feel like he's Joffrey. You've given him all the power in the world now. You've given him the green light. He's making transactions, and if he don't want to play, he doesn't play type of thing. Well, then you have to double down on that now because you signed up for it. It's nothing you can. It's only one way, and that's through. But if you fire another coach, Tony Russell, you don't own this team anymore. Trae Young does. And if I spent as much money as you did to own a team, I would not let somebody else own. Well, that's just me. But it's not even fun to watch the games anymore because they look so unhappy.
They're going to have, this is when you need, honestly, this is when you needed a solo. This is when you need a type of strong veteran presence to call a player, a Udonis Haslem, a player to call a players only meeting. A Jimmy Butler, and you have to be able to sit there and say, look, we have to be able to, we're too talented to be this bad. And you have to have somebody to be an adult. Because right now, if the rumors and everything are true, then Trae is running amok. He's running amok. He's doing whatever he wants to. He has the ear of the owners, and he's doing whatever he wants, and it can't happen.
The scary part is, though, is Trae has the ear of the owners. And you see that if once you want out or they trade you, they're not trading you to a good place. As bad as Cam Reddish was for us, sending him to New York, I think, was a message. If you want out of here, we will get you out of here, but we will surely send you to Siberia. Not to say that the Knicks are Siberia, but for what Cam Reddish's situation and what he's trying to accomplish, there's probably not a worse place he could go. And I honestly don't think that the Sacramento Kings trade was supposed to go that well. I think they were trading him to Sacramento thinking, oh, they wouldn't get it together type of thing. And they're
purgatory.
Basketball.
Sending them to purgatory.
But I don't think that they had any intentions of sending anybody to any team. I mean, look at DeLon Wright. Send him to the Wizards. Oh, yeah, well, bottom tier East team. Send him to the Knicks. He'll never play there. Kevin Heurter to Sacramento. Good luck, bro. That's a real fear. I might be right, but if I'm right and I piss off the ownership, they might send me to Vancouver.
Yeah. So, I mean, the Hawks, man, they got a West Coast swing coming up. They play the Lakers, the Clippers, the Kings, and I think the Warriors.
Yep. Warriors don't lose at home. That's not good. We play the Lakers again in LA. That's not good. The only thing I can preferably say is I hope we get Clint Capella back and He can play like a world beater again.
If we get Clint Capella back, I think we beat the Lakers. If we get Clint Capella back, we lose to the Clippers. If we get Clint Capella back, I think we match up pretty decently with the Warriors because they don't have Steph Curry. And then who else?
They don't lose out. They never lose at home.
And then we play the Kings as well. And I think Kevin Heurter is going to try to get his.
Kuminga's out. Kuminga's out tomorrow though. That helps. We really just doing whatever we can to try.
So they're gonna try to get. I think Kevin Heurter is gonna try to get his get back against Trey at home. I think that's what's gonna happen. So, hopefully, we got to get Capella back, man. If we get Capella back, we're a problem. We got to get Hunter back. Other than that, it's a wrap.
That's the frustrating thing about Clint is you have to get him, then he has to rewarm his body up. The first 2 games, he's gonna be middling at best. Then 3rd or 4th game, because we always do this. We're like, oh, he don't have it anymore. Then like that 4th or 5th game that he plays in a row, he looks like Clint again. And this process of never being able to keep him conditioned and healthy at the same time. He's so good when he's right, but you always in this cycle with him.
Yep.
I don't have an answer for that yet. But Okongwu too small, so that's the answer.